The game can give you a good result, a bad result, an indifferent result, a complete thrashing at times. And transfer windows are no different. It can give you a good transfer window, an okay transfer window, a bad transfer window, or it can give you the most diabolical transfer window. It's decided that I should have the most diabolical transfer window. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to the Liberty Stadium in Swansea. And if you're a first-time visitor here, why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause you can see scrolling above. And here we are, Swansea City, back in the Premier League, but we've just had the most diabolical of transfer windows. And the reason for that is that the game has not allowed me to sell anyone. And in order to improve this team, I needed to sell some players. But let's have a quick look at the ins and outs. And there have been a lot of players going out. But unfortunately, the game has not allowed me to sell anyone for any kind of money whatsoever. I think the top one going out was around about 75k, and so nothing has actually really come of it. Tell a lie. Lots of loans, including good wage payments, but we haven't been able to sell a single player. And with 27 million and a squad that needed strengthening both at the back and up front, we had no chance. We did sell Josh Thomas for 75k. And we got rid of Oliver Cooper for a massive 135k. But all the other things, Kyle Joseph was loaned out to Inverness. McFadden was loaned out to Sutton. Cotterill went on loan to Wigan, and nothing really happened. It continued into this season. Many players went out on a free. Garrick was loaned, he went out, to Brest for 55,000. Jay Fulton, he went out on loan to Norwich. We needed to raise funds for the wage budget. Players wanted better wages. Everyone else, we got a 220,000 and 250,000 for two players. Odafemi, we tried so hard to sell him. He's not going to cut it as a Premier League striker. We couldn't sell him. We had to let him go on loan in the end, just again to recoup wage budget. We did bring in Delap and Reece Williams on loans ourselves, but not to be first team players. I loaned them as squad players because I realised they're not going to be Premier League at this stage. They needed further development. Reece Williams, again, he's a very good player, but he's young and he's not quite ready to be a Premier League defender. Had a great season last season, but he needs further development. Those we brought in last season at the end, but we began we made actually 6 new signings, starting with Vojvoda, who is Kosovan. He's come in as a fullback. He's not bad, and he'll probably do a decent job for us. He hasn't played much, but when he did play for Toulouse last year, he only made 12 appearances, but he got an average rating of 7.11. So we brought him in as we desperately needed a fullback. He cost us 1.5 mil. And then Magyar, who's a young midfielder. We couldn't really afford to bring in anybody who would cost more than about 3 or 4 million. He looks a decent midfielder, but he's not Premier League quality as yet. We brought him in for 6.75 million from Arsenal. And then Gian is another lone striker. He's just a young boy as well. He's just 19 years old. He has some nice mentals and physicals, but he's not the best technical of players that we've ever seen. He has a lot of development yet to do, whether or not he can do it. He came in on loan from Roma. And then our signature signing, the one I really wanted to do, was Mendy from Leicester. Now, he's been out of favour at Leicester over the last season. 2 games, 7.4 rating, but could not get into the team. We paid £5 million for him, but during pre-season he's been absolutely awful. I think his highest rating score was about 6.3. He's been absolutely dreadful. He is obviously a good player, but already it doesn't look as if that's going to turn out to be a great signing. He's the signature signing. Kayombo, or Kayembe, he came in as another midfielder. We desperately needed more in midfield. He's again a 24-year-old. He's not a bad player, but he's not Premier League yet. He might become that. We brought him in from Watford for £5.5 million. And Emil Kraft, Swedish fullback, he came in. As I said, we desperately needed fullbacks, and he came in for a fee of £5.75 million from Celtic. We needed a central defender, and in desperation I brought in Courtney House. He was the only one I had any money for. He's had a very, very poor pre-season as well, and I really started to get a bit disturbed by how bad. And up front we are very, very poor, and we could not get a striker for the kind of money that we had. So in the end I brought in Shane Lavery. He's got good mentals. He's quite a physical player, but technically he's not very good. We'll just have to see if his pace will help us as an advanced forward. He's been out of form at Blackpool. He had a very good season the season before last, 13 goals, 10 assists, but then didn't play hardly at all last season for Blackpool. And we brought him in for £6 million. And I hope that's not another poor decision that I have made. We are predicted, after all that, to finish at 19th, and I can see why they're saying that. We're a very, very poor team, and I don't see me lasting very, very long in this job now at all. The board have increased their expectation from fight bravely against relegation to avoid relegation now. I'm under pressure already. There is no way that this team should be avoiding relegation. We should be absolutely in a really tough relegation battle. We have some tough fixtures coming up. Aston Villa away is not the greatest place to start the season. Then we have Leicester, Brighton, and then it gets very tough. Manchester City, Arsenal, Burnley, Newcastle. So it's going to be a season that I'm going to want to forget, if I can manage to keep my job, because I'm absolutely convinced that after that transfer window, we do not have any quality in all areas of the pitch, from goalkeeper all the way. There is not enough quality. But for today against Aston Villa, it's Fisher, Voivoda, Williams, Zimmerman and Manning at the back, Mendy, Downs, Neacham and Grimes in midfield, and Pirro and Lavery will be up front. I think it might be a mistake to play Lavery. He's should be getting into the side a little bit slower, but I really don't have any choice. And so let's go to Aston Villa and play some football. Let's see if my worst fears are actually based on any foundation, and it is Villa who have the ball, and we are struggling at the back, but it is well defended, but given away. Manning has given the ball away straight away, and Buendena hits the post, and in the first minute we are under pressure already, and again it's defensive errors. We were solid defensively last year in the Championship, but this is a different ball game now. And I think that the defence is too naive, too inexperienced to deal with things at this level. As the ball is flown into the box, and Aston Villa have another chance, and that's played to outside the box. And here we go, and that's deflected, and it's up in the air, and Zimmerman jumps up in the air, completely misses the ball, and allows it just to drop for the Aston Villa forward to poke it home. It was a good block. It went up in the Zimmerman. I'm not quite sure what he was doing there, but he just said, "Hello, Watkins, why don't you just pop that one into the back of the net?" And that is possibly the worst possible start I could have imagined. But we do have the ball. Have we got a highlight? And we're going to try passing it around. And Lavery really doesn't look like he's very interested in getting to that. He's supposed to have a bit of pace, Lavery. But we've got that covered. And Zimmerman, he gives it back to Fisher. Fisher looks for Voyeda. And that's a long ball upfield. And that's really not how we're supposed to be playing. We are supposed to be playing a short, high-tempo passing game. Not walloping 70-yard passes up the field. And here's Buendia, and he's looking to get down the right-hand flank. He fires in across, and Watkins has made it 2-0. We are all over the place here. It's like lambs to the slaughter here. We are in big, big trouble. I suspected after that transfer window that we were in big, big trouble. And boy, this is just confirming how much trouble we are in. And I really don't know if we can counter this. I really do think that I'm going to be losing my job within probably the first couple of months here. It really is. It has been an appalling summer in terms of finances. And I don't know why FM does that. Why it just kind of like, it will not let you sell anyone. Try. We tried to sell some players to raise money. It would not let us sell them. And it had just decided you were going to have a really bad transfer window. It might actually be an interesting experiment to play a game through a season and then have a transfer window and replay the transfer window several times over and see if actually they do turn out differently. But there are 15 minutes gone here. And here come Aston Villa again, and it is 3-0, and this time it is Voyeda, the right-back, who has made an absolutely dreadful error, and we are now 3-0 down, and I'm starting to feel very, very depressed now. All you can do is laugh at that defending, absolutely dreadful, and he left the goalkeeper absolutely at sea. Two really poor defensive errors, one from Voyeda and one from Zimmerman, and we are 3-0 down. And there's very little that I can do if that's how the team is going to perform. There's not much a manager can do. But here we come. Grimes has given it to Pirro into Lavery. Lavery's in the clear, and that's a save. And I thought Lavery was going to pull one back there. I thought FM was going to be nice to me, but it wasn't. And a good save, but Lavery should have done better. But a good sign that we have had an attack at last. And Williams finds Mendy. Mendy once again is having a shocking game. He's just got a 6.4. I don't know what's wrong with him and why he can't get above 6.4. I thought he was a better player than that. But here's Neacham now. Neacham is in the clear, and Neacham with a chance, and it's another good save. We've created two very, very good chances, and I guess if you don't put them away, you're not going to get anything out of football matches, especially with the shocking defence that we have. I need to make some changes because it really is poor out there at the moment. As Aston Villa will bring the ball forward again. And please don't let this be an absolute annihilation when we've still got to play the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City and Manchester United. We don't want to be annihilated at Aston Villa as well. But Voyeda, he's actually intercepted the ball there. Lavery, it's nice football. Here's Grimes to Manning, and Pirro is in the clear. He must score. And he's put it wide. Pirro now has got in on the act and he's missed his chance. He's fluffed his lines. They are all appalling out there today. FM has decided to teach me a lesson after last season and the points that we stacked up, and the wins we stacked up last season. FM's just telling me, you are not good enough for the Premier League. I screwed up your transfer window as well. Didn't let you have any money. Now you're going to suffer. FM is going to make me suffer. And I think the sooner I get sacked, the better. And we can move on to another save. Because this is a very, very poor Swansea team now. And they are showing it today on the pitch, how poor we are. Brilliant championship team. But if we get anything at all out of this season, I will be very, very surprised. And here is Kraft, who's come on. And that's an absolutely aimless pass again. But Digne looks like he's in a bit of trouble. Was it a push? And it looks a bit harsh to me because I think Digne has been sent off. Not that it matters because it's 85 minutes gone. We've gone more attacking now, but it's way too late. The final score is Aston Villa 3, Swansea 0. It's a dreadful, dreadful start. Puts us where we belong in 19th place. Only Watford did worse than us yesterday. Absolutely nightmare start. And oh dear. This is going to be a season of horrors, I think. So let's just have a look at what we've got coming up, because I think we need to go through this season as fast as possible, if we get through the season, because I have a funny feeling this is one of those saves where I am going to be sacked. We have Leicester and Brighton before the fun begins with Manchester City and Arsenal, we do desperately need something out of Leicester and Brighton. And I'm going to play through probably until the Burnley game or the Newcastle game or even the Watford game, because you just don't want to see me being annihilated all the way through. So I might just come back early October. There's nothing going to happen in the transfer window. We have no money, no wage budget, so there's nothing that can happen. It will not let me sell anybody. So we're not doing anything in the remainder of the window. So I'll just play through and come back for the Watford game and try to get this over as painlessly as possible. And in the meantime, if you are a first-time visitor and you like to see someone in pain like this, then why not subscribe, watch, like and comment, help the channel to grow, and support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling above. I'm going to go and have a lie down and take a few anodins and try and figure out what on earth I am going to do to help solve this problem, if I can. And I'll see you at the beginning of October when we will come back at home to Watford. All that remains to be said now is see you next time.